Mine. She's behind you.
Right, I'm just going to share my screen.
And record.
Yeah, done that. Yeah.
Buenos días, señor.
Ah, Antonio.
¿Cómo está?
Buenas tardes. So, it's 30:30, I think. It's 30:30.
Yep. 31.
31. Yep, according to Apple time. So, come on, work for me. There we go. So, hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a lección 9 de la clase de español. And I put a little note on there. Gonna have to do this every week, I think. Recuérdame grabar la lección. But I have actually pressed record already. So we're doing that. I wanted to say to everybody that I saw a couple of our old friends yesterday, Vernon and Marge Murugappa, who live in Breton. They're moving to Cumbernauld in January in Scotland to be near their son. They've both been suffering a bit, I think, with their health. Although they looked very well yesterday. Marge said she was feeling quite sprightly. But they've finished with Spanish and they've donated their Spanish resources, which is quite a mountain of books, dictionaries and audio CDs to the group. Because when we meet together, we have a little resource table on the trolley, and it's a bit harder to distribute stuff meeting via Zoom. But hopefully sometime next year we'll be able to get back together again at the Copeland Centre or at some other venue if Copeland's taken, and we'll have a packed resource trolley full of books, dictionaries, and CDs. I did put I will put their address on the lesson notes in case anyone wants to send them a good luck card. Some of the newer members won't remember them, but they were members of the class for quite some time. They did a few years with John Douglas in the basic class, and then went up to Caroline's intermediate class and had quite a few years with her, and I think just 1 year in my class. So they're long-standing, and lots of you remember them. So I'll put the note on just in case anybody wants to say hi or good luck to them. They're a very nice pair. So, ¿sabes cuál es la palabra para Christmas en español? Everybody knows, Navidad. And I've said, ¿sabes cuál? As if speaking to, I missed the accents off the second cuál there. I don't know. So I said ¿sabes cuál? As if speaking to one person in the informal. Now, there's more than one of you, so I should have said saben or sabais. We tend to speak informally to each other, so sabais would have been the correct form of the you plural informal. I haven't used that because I use it so little that I thought it was best to stick with the you informal singular because it seems like I'm speaking to you individually, because I can just see little pictures of you on my screen in a little block, and it's not like addressing a a class. Also, we use that form so much more. So I think it's to practice that, get used to that, rather than sabáis, which I never use. Never had an opportunity in Spain when I've been to Spain, but in Latin America, they don't use the you plural informal. They just use the you plural. So they'd say sabe, and it's a lot easier to learn because that informal version always seems to have a strange combination of vowels or weird accents. So it's much easier to get rid of it. Now, there are some, sabes is quite a useful word. You can say, tu sabes, do you know? If as a question. I use it quite often with the grandchildren. Sabes que es mal. You know that's naughty. You know that's bad. Or sabes lo que estás haciendo. You know what you're doing. So it's quite a useful word for a stern granddad. Let's have a look at some Christmas words. Who knows these? So, Maggie is top of my little list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you sort out, do you know the first 5 of those? Papa Noel.
Father Christmas. Christmas stocking.
See?
Turkey. Brussels sprouts.
See?
And roast potatoes.
Yeah, lovely. That'll do nicely. Un calcetín, a sock of Christmas. Calcetines are socks, of course. Although I just got the Latin American version in my head. In Latin America, they call them medias, halves. So un calcetín, a sock of Christmas. Coles is cabbages as well, of course. So la col would be a cabbage. So it's cabbages from Brussels. And papas rostizadas. I wasn't sure about rostizadas because I've never heard it. But that's that's a translation that was given to me from this Spanish blog that I sign up to. I would have thought it would be the usual asada, asadas. Papas is feminine. Papas asadas, but apparently not. Rostizadas seems a bit too English.
Eric?
Yeah.
I've just looked on Spanish Dick and they do the asar patatas.
Do they? Yeah, that's what I would have done. But anyway, there we go. There's always a variation, isn't there?
Never mind.
It's what makes language useful. So, Mangala,
yeah.
Do you know what the next 4 are?
Los Reyes Magos, the three white skin. White skin.
Yes. Reyes is kings. Los Reyes is kings. Magos is wizards or magicians. So
the Magi.
They call them the. I like to amuse myself by calling them the wizard kings, but they're the wise, the magi. Yeah.
Okay.
Año Nuevo.
Año Nuevo. New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo is Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Nochebuena is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, well done. I think you're all up to. I think you're all up to speed on your Christmas.
Ready for Christmas. Mm.
Yeah. And we can all say Feliz Navidad, can't we? To wish you a happy Christmas. We've got just one more lesson, of course, before Christmas, and then we're having a break of a week before we're back on January the 5th. But I'll obviously send you out the invitations and everything else in due course. So, ¿qué tenemos esta semana? It's pretty much the usual. I'll leave this slide more or less as it is for the last few weeks. So we're going to start with our book, then we'll do a little bit more of the 101 conversations, a little bit of Spanish, which is a good way to give ourselves a headache for the rest of the afternoon. And then we'll have a look at homework. Well done. So, Women in Barcelona. I thought I had my book ready. It's sitting on the bookshelf. I thought that maybe this week we would read the second chapter rather than the first one.
Trapa.
So we're doing 15 and 16. So so in chapter 15, things are a bit tense in Aileras Ailines. Nobody's listening to Enrique, and the company's going down the pan, to put it bluntly. But Aldo steps up. He has a word with a quiet word with Enrique. Tells him he's getting himself into trouble, and stop messing about. Stop what you're doing. So we'll go on to chapter 16, and we've got who have we got? Let's go down to the bottom. I can't remember who's read and who's not read. There's poor old Ken. We're not going to. We always seem to. Ken, you're always at the top or the bottom of the list. So if try not. Linda's down the bottom. Can you hear me, Linda? Linda Broughton.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Would you fancy reading that first big long paragraph on page 31?
Okay. Esa misma tarde, Aldo llamó a una reunión de directorio. Todos los ejecutivos de Aileras Ailines estaban presentes. Enrique fue el último en llegar. Aldo les explicó el objetivo de la reunión. Estamos todos aquí para participar en una votación. Vamos a votar quién será el CEO temporal en Aileras Ailines. Cualquiera de ustedes puede ser un candidato para reemplazar a mi padre. Les pido que levanten la mano aquellos que deseen postularse como CEO de la compañía. Los únicos que levantaron la mano, además de Aldo, fueron Enrique y Fernando del Departamento de Ventas.
Muy bien. Gracias, Linda. Gracias. Good. Well done. That was pretty good. Don't forget to stress the ends of words. The end of a word in Spanish is really important. Don't forget to stress the end, especially where there's an accent in there, because Spanish ears are waiting to hear where the stress is. So, lico and será is important. And when you get a double L together, you know this. It's a y sound. Aquellos. So make sure it's a y, not an L sound when you get a double L. Well done, well done. Beryl, I'm heading up. Would you be okay to translate?
That same afternoon, Aldo called a meeting of the directors. All the executives of Alares Airlines were present. Enrique was the last to arrive. Aldo explained to them the objective of the point of the reunion of the meeting. We are here today. We're all here to take part in a vote. We're going to vote as to who will become the temporary CEO of Alares Airlines. I read this as whoever of you is able to be a candidate to replace my father. Those who are able put up their hand if they wish to be considered as a CEO of the company. The only ones who lifted up their hands, put up their hands, apart from Aldo, were Enrique and Fernando, who was from the Department of Flights.
Ventai sales, I think. Ventai
sales. Oh, sales. Yeah.
It's always the guy from sales who's the pusher on it. It's in my experience. Thank you, Beryl. Excellent, excellent. Now, the next section, Lorna, would you be okay to read that for?
Yeah, who's there, please?
Unmute. Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah, we're in this, yep.
La votación finalmente se hizo entre Aldo, Enrique y Fernando. Todos los ejecutivos hicieron su voto en voz alta. Aldo ganó por mayoría.
I think Tony's got somebody at the door.
Which... Oh, can he mute?
I thought he was on the phone.
He's on the phone. His phone went.
Oh, right. Okay. Is he... Sorry about that, Lorna.
Aldo ganó por mayoría con 7 votos a su favor. Después de la elección de CEO, todos los ejecutivos firmaron un acta. En el acta decía que Aldo asumía la función de CEO temporal de la compañía. Tendrá a su cargo todos los departamentos de la empresa. Él confía en que hará un buen trabajo. I can see Tony on his phone.
Can you?
It's finished now.
Have you done, Tony?
Yeah. What, you could hear me talking, could you?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we could hear you. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I thought I'd muted it. I'm
very interesting.
I'm ever so sorry.
That's all right.
Felipe preparó muy bien.
a su hijo para dirigir a la compañía. Sabía que algún día Aldo lo reemplazaría en la función de CEO de Alaeres Airlines. Phew.
Thank you very much, Lorna. Well done. So Ken, are you up for a bit of translation now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The final vote was between Aldo, Enrique, and Fernando. All the executives had their vote in a loud voice. What, in loud voices?
Yeah, it had to speak aloud, I think.
Speak aloud, okay.
Yeah.
Aldo gained the most with 7 votes in his favor. After the election of the CEO, all the executives wrote a document.
Yeah, signed an acta. I've sort of gone into the acta a little bit. I read this one as a resolution or
okay, an act, like acta resolution, yeah.
Yeah.
In El Acto, it said that Aldo assumes the function of the temporary of the chief executive of the company. He would have as his charge all the departments, so he'd have in his charge all of the departments in the business. He confirmed that it would work well. Felipe had prepared very well his son for directing of the company. We know that he knew the day Aldo would replace him in the function of chief executive of Alaeres Airlines.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So,
Eric, why are they using 2 different words for company? They've got impressor and compagnia.
Yeah.
So in that last paragraph.
Yeah, I think he's probably used 2 to avoid repetition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Impressor would be business, maybe compagnia. Yes, no. Essentially, that means the same thing in this.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
In this context, it does. Yeah. So there were some words and phrases there that might be quite useful. I did pick up a new verb, attraverser, reflexive, attraverser, to dare. I haven't come across that one before. I don't think I'll be using it very much, but I'll try to remember it next time I see it. Enseguida is a useful word. It means immediately. I've only seen it written as one word. He writes it as 2 words, and I came across another one that's generally written as 2 words, and we were talking about that in the morning class. Adonde, meaning where to, where. I saw that written as 1 word this week and last week, and I thought I've never seen adonde as one word before, even though we sort of say it as 1 word. But I went on to one of these discussion boards, and the Spanish guy says, "Yeah, we do sometimes see it as written as 1 word, and it's often written as 1 word when it's an exclamation rather than a question, but it means exactly the same, to where or where to." So I don't have an explanation for why he says enseguida rather than enseguida. It means the same thing. Aldo se para. Aldo stops from the verb parar, to stop. We get bus stops, don't we? Parar. Oye.
Eric, can I question, please? I still get confused with the insertion of se in that last statement.
Yeah.
Why not just Aldo para?
Reflexive? Is it reflexive?
It's because he's stopping. So it's an action that he's performing upon himself. So
I see. So it's reflective. Yeah.
Is essentially reflexive. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oye is quite a nice word. Hey, attention. There are no exclamation marks in the book, so I'd have expected them to put some exclamation marks around it. So maybe this is a friendly call to attention rather than a more aggressive one.
It's a song by Julio Iglesias, Eric.
Okay, Tony. Well, maybe we can listen to that one day. When we're back together as a class, you can bring your bring your speaker in, and we can have Julio Iglesias. Oh yeah. Of course, it was well known to town criers all around England who run around shouting, "Oh yay! Oh yay! Ding a ding, ding a ding!" It's the same root source, I guess. Must be Latin. Does anybody do Latin? Anybody did Latin at school?
Yes, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
Lorna's telling us something, but she's on mute. So, oh, you're not? No, I thought you were going to give us a Latin lesson. Damn. I prefer escuchame. That's one that gets used with the grandchildren quite often, but they're not here at the moment. The Spanish ones are in Ecuador. So,
Eric.
Yes.
You never use oiga.
Oiga. No, listen to me. Did you say? Listen.
Yeah, oiga.
Oiga.
Yeah, listen to me.
Yeah. No, I could. I'm always looking for grumpy granddad phrases. So yeah.
I thought oiga was to call a waiter.
Not necessarily, but it's to gain attention.
Right. And how are you spelling that, Ken? Bryn?
O-I-G-A, I think.
Oiga.
Oiga, as from oya.
Yeah. It's probably the a conjugation in the command, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yes.
Right. Ya está bien. That's enough. Again, no exclamation marks. I would have, but anyway, that's another good one for the grandchildren, isn't it? De veras, really? And did you see the sentence? Te estás metiendo en problemas. You're getting into trouble. So it's not often you see the present continuous tense used in Spanish. So it always makes me go, ooh, when I see it. Metiendo is from the verb meter, to put, and I had to look up meter because I've not seen it used in this context. And of course, it's one of those Spanish words, there's so many of them, that end up with about 10 different meanings. So meter apparently can mean to fit, to get, to stick, to score in the case of a football, or to get into, which is the context that it's used here. So you're getting yourself into trouble. I also like no te hagas el tonto, don't play dumb. And I thought another useful grandchild minding phrase, no te hagas el tonto conmigo, don't act the fool with me. My grandchildren are very good as a rule. Julia is working very hard at her. She has a tutor in Ecuador who's a Montessori tutor, and they do learning through play, the Montessori method. Julia is she has an immense hunger to learn, so she applies herself very well. Aureliano just wants to play with the naughty boy from next door but one. Naughty Harry is called by my son and his wife. So he's not quite so diligent with the school.
He's only 3, Eric.
I know he is, yeah. But
not Naughty Harry.
Oh, I know Naughty Harry is, I think, 4. So he's just that little bit older, and Aureliano is obsessed with him. He's like a hero worshipping going on. So we need to find a good role model for Aureliano. Otherwise, he's off the rails at 3. So we can also I also saw deja de hacer lo que estás haciendo. Stop what you're doing. And the structure there it's a really odd one to British ears. So dejar is to leave. Deja is the imperative conjugation. So you're telling somebody what to do in the second person informal, you informal. Deja de hacer. Leave from doing the thing you're doing. But stop what you're doing is what it actually means. It's one of those where the literal translation really does throw you a bit. And acta, that's a bit of a weird one. I looked it up in a few different dictionaries because I wanted it to make sense, but it didn't quite make sense. So I translated it as resolution the first time. When they said firmaron un acta, and in the next sentence they said en el acta decía que Aldo. I translated that one as maybe as minutes. So they signed a resolution. In the minutes it said that Aldo assumed the function of CEO, temporary CEO. I don't know whether did anybody have an alternative to that? Were the dictionaries? I know some of you have got wonderful dictionaries that seem to come up with the right.
They were saying in mine, it's a word to affirm an action. Right. A word to affirm an action.
Affirm an action, yeah. Okay.
Mine's mentioned an issue, confirming an issue.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's a very cheap dictionary, though.
Well, you get what you pay for, Bryn. Yeah. I'm sure we all got the meaning of it. It's just that it's and we shouldn't always look for a perfect round peg to go into a round hole. Languages don't work like that, do they?
Eric, could you just have used the verb para, and para estás haciendo, stop?
Yeah, well, we could if we were just translating from English, couldn't we? But I'm not sure whether I'm not sure whether that one works. It's maybe not quite how the Spanish use it. I'll ask Lucy whether we could say para. I mean, as as an imperative conjugation, para like deha.
Yeah. Stop.
Maybe this is a sort of EastEnders style, leave it out sort of thing, you know. But, yeah. Anyway. Okay, so tengo algunas preguntas. Let me find the top of my list, and we'll go down and see who's not done anything yet. Maggie, you did something?
I did the first thing.
Yeah. Right. So we'll jump over you. Bryn's next on my list, and did you do some translation, Bryn? No,
I didn't.
No, that was Ken, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't mix us up, goodness.
No. So what the numero uno, Bryn?
Okay.
¿Qué hizo Enrique cuando Aldo le envió un mensaje de texto?
Nada.
Nada.
Sí.
Sí.
Exacto.
Enrique no respondió. That's what I put.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means the same thing pretty much. Jane, good afternoon. Buenas tardes. ¿Desde dónde se reflejaba el sol en la oficina de Enrique?
En el vidrio del escritorio y en los espejos de las paredes.
Espejos, yeah, that is exactly what I wrote as well. I think we both copied it from the book, which is what we should do in our 11 plus comprehension exercise. You're too young for the 11 plus, of course. Hi, Mangala. See.
Yeah. In the question, you suddenly changed the tense to imperfect. Everything else is, I think, preterito. Is there any reason why? Reflexiva? Because in the book, it is preterito.
It's in the preterite in the book. Yeah. There will be a reason for that. I've used the imperfects there because it's not got a sort of clear ending or at a specific time. It's a sort of it's an abstract thing.
Okay.
He walks. Let me just find it. He walks in the office.
It says reflex her.
Yes, well that's
present. Yeah. I think they've used the preterite there because of there is a specific
moment in time.
Yeah.
This is happening.
Yeah. Refleja. Is that?
I don't think it is the
preterite, or is that the present?
It's the present tense.
The present, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's present tense.
Yeah.
The whole episode is present tense mainly.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's the present tense. And he's just given a commentary.
Okay.
They in Spanish they often use the present tense. We do it in English as well. It's a sort of it's used quite a lot in books and writing to give a sort of urgency to the text. He walked into the office. The sun reflects from the desk and the mirrors.
Okay.
So it's perfectly okay.
Thanks.
So we've all moved around now. Jill Falls. Aldo llamó una reunión. quienes estuvieron presentes.
Todos los ejecutivos estuvieron presentes.
Yeah. Ejecutivos. It's a really hard word to say. I've been practicing it for the last week. Ejecutivos, yeah. Ejecutivos, yeah.
Ejecutivos.
Mangala, ¿quién fue el último en llegar?
Enrique fue el último en llegar.
Yeah, he's trying to make a point, isn't he?
Yeah.
Just this Enrique.
Making everybody wait.
Yeah, everybody making a dramatic entrance. Everybody seems to have forgotten that poor guy was poisoned. Just carrying on, aren't they? Like, you know.
That's life.
So, John, ¿quiénes querían ser CEO?
Sí, Aldo, Enrique y Fernando quieren ser CEO.
Muy bien. Yeah. Aldo, Enrique y Fernando. And I need to go down. Susan. Hola. Hola, Susan.
Hola. Hola.
¿Cuántas personas votaron por Aldo?
7 personas votaron por Aldo.
Muy bien, muy bien. He won 7 votes. Yeah, good. We still enjoying the book?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Good, good. Another 2 chapters next week, and we can have a little read over Christmas, can't we? Maybe as well. So we're not quite halfway through yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So moving on to our next book, 101 Conversations in Simple Spanish. Capítulo dice el segundo robo. Nuria y Alicia llegan a la tienda, ven que la policía está allí. Los vidrios de las ventanas de la tienda están rotos. El señor Rodolfo Garcia está muy triste. So they come back to the shop and the police are there. The shop windows are smashed, and Rodolfo Garcia, who I don't trust any further than I can see him, is looking very sad. So, voy a necesitar 4 actores para interpretar los roles de Nuria, Alicia, Rodolfo Garcia y un nuevo personaje, Detective Sanchez. So let's see who we've got to do that. Rona, do you fancy being Detective Sanchez?
Hey, I'll give it a go.
He hasn't got a big part.
Thank you. Gracias.
And Julie, would you be Nuria?
Yes.
And Sue, would you be Alicia? Sue Gockel?
Yes.
Can you be Alicia? Excellent. And we've just got Rodolfo Garcia. I think, who looks untrustworthy here? Carl's next on my list by coincidence. Carl's very trustworthy.
Very.
So let's go for it, guys. Let's have some acting, Should we? Let's let's do it with meaning. Okay, Nuria. Vamos.
Señor Rodolfo.
Aquí, estas detectiva, ellas son las muchachas de ella.
Succeeded.
Ellas son testigos. Ellas los abres estaban aquí. Alguien robó los abres de la tienda.
¿De verdad?
Ella es historiadora del arte. Ella sabe que son dibujos de Goya.
Sí, estoy segura. Son los dibujos de la colección privada de Lorenzo Reyes. Están en la televisión.
Hola, soy la detective Sánchez. En plaza sabía quién es el ladrón.
Ladrón, muy bien.
Ladrón.
No, no lo sé.
Tal vez es el hombre del sombrero.
¿El hombre del sombrero?
Sí, un hombre que ella estaba en la tienda.
Lo vamos a investigar.
Investigar, muy bien.
Investigar.
So, I think there's a lot of dodgy characters in here. I've got no faith in Alicia and Nuria, who get an opportunity to report a crime. They find valuable pictures in a flea market, and none of them think to call the police or anything. And then there's Rodolfo Garcia in the middle of it. So I've got a sneaking feeling that he's going to be there. It's the what, Susan?
You must speak some Spanish with your jokes.
Maybe, yeah. So so we'll see what happens in the next episode. I do worry about this book because there's 101 conversations. We're on number 11. We'll be doing it for the next 2 years at this rate.
Eric, what is it called, please? So I can download it.
It's can you see it? It's
101 conversations in Silver Spanish. Thank you.
In Spanish, yeah. It's in the it'll be in the lesson notes.
Okay.
A chap called Ollie Richards, and
it's on this page.
Yeah. So it's
in red.
It's available from and from Amazon as well.
Yeah, just download it. Thank you.
If you're interested, yeah. So I don't often pick things out from here, but there was a couple of really tricky tenses in this piece. These two lines here, Rodolfo Garcia says, ellas son testigos, they're the witnesses. Yesterday, the objects were here, estaban aquí. Alguien robó las obras de la tienda. And I stopped and looked at that. Now, why have they used the imperfect tense? And because he starts with the word, the sentence starts with the word yesterday. Yesterday, the objects were here. So why is he used estaban? And I couldn't get my head around it. And then in another sentence, Alicia says, sí, un hombre que ayer estaba en la tienda. yes, a man that was here in the shop yesterday.
Well, we would use were here in English. I know in Spanish they don't usually, but
yeah. So I thought I'll ask Lucy what she thinks. Is this right? And she says yes, it is. When you have two actions in a sentence that have both happened in the past tense, the first one is in the imperfect, and the second one would go in the preterite. So yesterday the objects were here, but then somebody has robbed them. So robo is in the preterite and estar is in the imperfect, estaban. And in the second one, although no second action is clearly indicated, one is implied. That was Lucy's suggestion. So I had a look in my favorite book, 501 Spanish verbs, and they talk about the use of the imperfect, and they say, yes, when two actions happen, the first one is in the imperfect. And the example they give is, mi hermana cantaba cuando yo entré. My sister was singing when I entered. And we don't have the imperfect tense as such. We put was or were in there, don't we, as Susan was saying earlier. So it's exactly what we'd say. We wouldn't say my sister sang when I entered. My sister was singing when I entered. And when you've got two actions taking place at the same time in the past, again, the example they gave is mi hermano leía y mi padre hablaba. So my brother was reading and my dad, my father, was talking. And again, you know, we use the same was form in English. It's I think we're just so used to using it that we don't realise what we're doing. That's the trouble. Those of you who've learned English as a second language may have struggled with this. I don't know in English, but it's knowing when to use the imperfect is a bit of a struggle in Spanish. In some instances, it's absolutely clear as crystal, but in others, it's about as clear as the dirty puddle outside my house.
Eric, Michelle Thomas used to talked about wasing and wearing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anything that you could say it was or it were, but it was.
Yeah.
Isn't it perfect?
Yeah, and that works very well in the two sentences that are illustrated there. My brother was reading and my father was speaking. My sister was singing when I came in. That works quite well. With the verb estar, we don't tend to say was, do we? So it's a bit harder to pick up there, but you could say was here. Yeah. Well, sorry to throw in the imperfect into the party, but we will get our heads around it, I'm sure, one day. So last week, I asked if you would write 3 short pieces about the following. Lo que me darán por Navidad este año. So I'm getting for Christmas this year. And adonde, I wrote it as one word because I thought I'd freestyle it. But adonde quiero ir de vacaciones el año que viene. Where are you going to, where would you like to go on holidays this coming year? And mi mejor regalo de Navidad. As usual, I've not given ourselves very long to do this, but if you like, I'm more than happy to roll on for 10 minutes and give ourselves a chance to take a look at those. Shall we do that, or have you got place? If you've got somewhere to go, then by all means nip out, and you can take a look at the video. So next on my list is Suzanne Coulson. Would you take the first one, Suzanne, and tell us what you're getting for Christmas?
No lo sé.
Una sorpresa.
No pedí nada.
Really?
Sí.
What about the second one? ¿Adonde quiero ir de vacaciones?
No sé.
Quiero ir, no, me gustaría visitar mi madre en Alemania.
¿Es posible?
No sé. No sé.
None of us know what we're going to be able to do tomorrow, do we? Let alone next year. Yeah. It's a tough one. Apple, do you know what you're getting for Christmas?
No, but I can tell you about the holidays. Can I do that one instead?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can do any one of the 3.
Thank you. Si es posible el año que viene, mi marido y yo esperamos ir a Roses, a la costa nordeste de España. No nos gusta viajar en avión. Preferimos usar el tren. Si salimos de St. Pancras temprano por la mañana, llegaremos a Roses casi las 9 por la noche el mismo día. Es un día largo, pero disfrutamos ver el campo y las ciudades a través de la ventana.
Muy bien. Wow. I wouldn't have thought it was that quick. That's it's nearly as fast as I can drive it. Who has some questions? Anybody have any questions for Apple? No? Oh, you are a grumpy lot.
Eric, would you mind saying it again slightly slower, please? Would you mind?
Would you mind, Apple? Would you
Not
mind?
at all, no.
Thank you.
Okay, right. Si es posible, el año que viene, mi marido y yo esperamos ir a Roses, a la costa nordeste de España. No nos gusta viajar en avión. Preferimos usar el tren. Si salimos de St. Pancras temprano por la mañana, excuse me, llegaremos a Roses casi las 9 por la noche el mismo día.
Bueno.
Es un día largo, pero disfrutamos ver el campo y las ciudades a través de la ventana.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Gracias.
¿Has estado allí antes, Apple?
Sí.
¿Has estado allí antes?
No visitamos Roses antes, pero usamos el tren por ir en España varias veces.
Ajá.
¿Cuánto cuesta el billete de tren?
Es muy caro. Bueno,
muy caro.
Pero caro.
Sí, pero es muy confortable.
Sí.
No es colas largas en el aeropuerto. ¿Sí?
Muy caro.
6 o 7 veces hacemos la viaje, I think.
Well done. That's excellent, Apple. Putting us all to shame there with your Spanish. So it's really coming along. Anybody want to go at the other one? Who's not? Tony's not said anything, but he's disappeared
on the phone.
Where he's gone. Julie, do you have any? Would you like to contribute to one of these?
Quisiera ir a España para visitar los padres de la novia de nuestro hijo. Viven en Valdepeñas, 200 kilómetros de Madrid al sur. Todavía no los hemos conocido, aunque Matthew y Marta han estado saliendo juntos durante 5 años. Es la razón por la que estoy aprendiendo español.
Bueno.
Muy bien, gracias. Gracias. Would you could we have that again? Más despacio.
Okay. Quisiera ir a España para visitar los padres de la novia de nuestro hijo. Viven en Valdepeñas, 200 kilómetros de Madrid al sur. Todavía no los hemos conocido, aunque Matthew y Marta han estado saliendo juntos durante 5 años. Es la razón por la que estoy aprendiendo español.
Anybody want to ask a question? Who's got a question? We're going to have to sort this question business out, I think. We'll have to delegate some questioners, I think. Do they speak Castellano?
Sí.
They're not that, or it's not.
Los padres no hablan inglés, pero la madre aprendido en las clases.
So, has Tony arrived back or not? Antonio. Antonio.
Sorry, Eric. I had a a chap come to pick up a parcel.
That's all right. That's all right. You're a busy fella this afternoon.
Yes, sorry.
We've given you star billing. You could close the show.
Oh dear.
Would you like to have a look at one of these questions?
Well, I can do one very simply.
Yeah.
Perhaps number 2. Queremos ir a Malaysia y también un crucero desde Buenos Aires a Valparaiso.
Could you do that a second time? It's useful to have a two cracks at it, just so we can get the words that we didn't quite get.
All right. Queremos, we want. Queremos to go.
You don't need to translate it.
Malaysia y también un crucero. Cruise. Desde Buenos Aires a Valparaiso en Chile.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muy largo.
Una aspiración.
Tony, yo sé solía trabajar en Malaysia, ¿sí?
Sí. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, missed that.
You did?
I did work in Malaysia, yes.
¿Hace cuántos años?
3 años, pero es 20 años.
20 años?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, so I was there for 3 years, but it was 20 years ago.
Sí, sí. Y Serena y tú tenemos amigos en Malaysia?
Sí.
Segunda, Tony, por favor.
¿Cómo se llama tus amigos?
¿Cómo se llama?
¿Cómo se llaman?
Zainuddin, Mark, Rafida, let me think. Mick.
Muchos amigos. ¿Y voy a ser tus amigos?
Oh,
you going to see them?
What, did I see them?
Oh, you go. Voy. Sorry. Vas a ver tus amigos.
Vas a ver. Sorry, Eric, I'm not with that.
You're going to see them?
And how big?
See. I'll say it in English. It depends on the virus.
Everything
depends
on the virus. It does, yeah. Thank you, Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Pregunta, por favor. Tú puedes nadar? You're going on a boat.
No.
Tú puedes nadar? Can you swim?
Sí.
And it'll have a lovely swimming pool.
But it's a bit far.
Okay, so we had a bit of a listing exercise, which I hope you've been able to do. It was quite a nice one this week. It was all about shopping, and I hope you find it useful. The shopping experience for Maria was quite strange. She seems to buy everything in multiples of 24. We've had the fullest boot of shopping I've ever seen. So tendremos solo uno lección más antes de Navidad. No te olvides, tendremos un descanso de una semana y nos volveremos a encontrar el 5 de enero. Nos vemos la próxima semana. Hasta el martes a la 1:30. Cuídate y que pases una buena semana.
Gracias. Gracias. Chao.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Cheers.